Hello, Trottiscliffe class, and welcome to your first history lesson over YouTube. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you please get out your maths work from today? I'm going to share the screen so we can go through the answers from maths today, please. So make sure you've all got that ready for you. Okay, Miss Reynolds Group, if you are in this part of the meeting, don't worry about the maths because she would have already gone through your maths answers with you as well. So we have got today, so we were looking at adding, mixing numbers. So the first question, when it says whose method do you prefer, you could say either Teddy's method or Mo's method, as long as you have explained why that is as well. Okay, the second one then said complete the calculation. So 2A is 3 holes and 7/10, and 2B is 4 holes and 7/10. Through 2C is 4 holes and 9/10. D is 5 hole and 15/16. E is 6 holes and 15/16, and F is 4 holes and 14/15. Number 3. How can Ron improve his answer? Okay, he can improve his answer so he can make it into a mixed number. So you've got 13/10 equals 1 and 3/10. So 3 and 13/10 then equals 4 and 3/10, okay, because it would then convert to another whole, which would add 1 on to make 4 wholes. Number 4, complete the addition. So the first one is 6 and 1/6, and B is 6 wholes and 1/6 as well. Some of you may have got different answers, and that's because I've put it in its simplest form here, okay? So if you've got a 12th, that still is right, okay, but you can simplify it down further. Now, C is 9 holes and 1/12. D is 10 holes and 1/15. 5, you had a question about the blue ribbon and the yellow ribbon, and it says what is the total length? So you had to add them together, and it was 6 holes and 1/9. 5B, you've got the red ribbon is 1 hole and 5/18 meters longer than the yellow ribbon. How long is the red ribbon? It is 4 holes and 17/18. Okay, number 6 is calculate the perimeter of the triangle. It would be 18 holes and 9/14. You had to add up each of the sides to calculate the perimeter. Okay, number 7, I'm not going to read out number 7. That is just an example there. You may have got a different answer. If you would like me to check your answer, because I couldn't put down every example there, please just get your parents to send me in a photo of it, and I will check your answers there, because you may have something different to what I've put down and it still be correct. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to mark what you have done if you've got the same as me. Okay, number 8, here are some number cards. It then asks, what is the greatest total you can make with 2 cards? It's 8 holes and 5/12. And then what is the smallest total you can make with 2 holes? It's 5 holes and 3/4. Okay. So again, I've put them into their simplest form. So if you've got a different denominator, it's not necessarily that your answer is wrong, but it needs to be simplified down to the simplest fraction, to its lowest form. Okay, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing now. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to get out your history worksheet for today. So in your history pack, you will see something on gods, and on the other side, it has a grid as well. Can you make sure you've got that out ready for today's lesson? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen again so you can see my history PowerPoint. So today, what we are doing in history is you are looking at comparing the Maya beliefs with today's beliefs and religions, okay? So we already looked at beliefs in Anglo-Saxon times. That's what we did in our last topic. We're going to be using our knowledge today and building on that as well. So what did the Anglo-Saxons believe in? And I have got a couple of clues on my screen to help you with this. I'm going to give you now 10 seconds if you're at home to have a think by yourself. If you were at school to talk to a person next to you, 10 seconds. What did the Anglo-Saxons believe in? Off you go. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. So you might have seen from the clues on my board, I've got a Stonehenge there, and then I've got over here a goddess as well. So when the Anglo-Saxons came to Britain, and when they settled in Britain, they were pagans, okay? They believed there were lots and lots of gods. This eventually changed when one of the kings converted to Christianity, and that's why I put there in the middle the cross to represent Christianity. Okay, he was influenced by a follower of Christianity who came over, and once he turned to Christianity, the rest of the country then followed suit. Okay, you did still have a small minority who still believed in the pagan religion, but the majority then believed in Christianity. Okay, and then you've got the two different religions there. So they began with paganism, which is where they had lots of different gods, and then they went to Christianity. Okay, so they had two different religions that were really common at the time. Okay, so the Mayas had a slightly different way of looking at things. Okay, they again had lots and lots of different gods, so it's very, very similar to paganism. I'm going to go through what they believed. Okay, now we've got to remember that the Mayas were around before the Anglo-Saxons, and they were in a completely different part of the world as well. Okay, and we know already that they are a very sophisticated civilization, which means they are really, really clever. Okay, so creation according to the ancient Maya. Okay, so the gods made animals, but the animals didn't speak to them. The gods tried to make humans out of clay, but they were limp and melted in the rains. They made humans out of wood, but the rains drowned them. Eventually they made humans from Zupcan Meso, and this was a success. So they felt that the creation of humans, was because the gods made them out of maize dough. That was their belief. Okay, and we know that maize was a really popular crop in the ancient Maya times. Okay, so the universe, according to the ancient Maya, again was very different from paganism and Christianity. Okay, they believed that the middle world is square and flat, and the earth rests on the back of a huge creature like a turtle or crocodile. So not like we know today, the earth is spherical. They believed the earth was flat and then rested on an animal. A giant tree grows at the center of the earth. Its roots reach up and down the underworld, and its branches reach to the upper world. Okay, and they would then have the four compass directions, and they would link them to colors. So you can see down there what they linked it with. Obviously west, okay, would then be linked with black and death and the underworld. So the underworld, so this is, you can see an image there as well, okay, was called Ixababla, which means place of fear. It was reached through caves and tunnels. Many gods of death who looked like jaguars lived in the underworld. The Maya believed that when they died, their souls traveled to the underworld. So that's where they believed they would go when they passed away. So the gods. Now, this is quite similar to paganism in the sense that there were many, many gods. It's obviously very different to Christianity. Okay, they believe there are over 150 gods. Okay, some are mentioned but have slightly different names, and many of them are very similar in their roles that they do. Okay, some had human form, some took the form of animal. Again, quite similar to paganism, where they all had a sacred animal that were with the gods as well. And there were also religious rituals. So just like in paganism, there were key days where they would celebrate things, okay? And it would be all to do with the Maya calendar. You know, they were the first civilization to invent a calendar, okay? So before a ritual festival, people would go without certain food or pierce their tongues, lips or cheeks or ears to offer a sacrifice of human blood. And remember, we talked about at the very, very top of the temples, that room was used to be sacrificed, okay? And the festivals were colourful and noisy, okay? And it was a real celebration. So everyone, no matter where you were in society, would come out and celebrate this celebration. Okay, they had a tradition of bloodletting. Okay, so that's where, just like we talked about there, okay, they would then cut themselves to sacrifice some blood to the gods. Very, very different to Christianity and paganism. Okay, they did not do it in the same way. Okay. And the other thing that we talked about as well is human sacrifice. We know that if you won a poker talk match and you were the team captain, you would be sacrificed, and it would be a great honor. If you were the losing captain, you would then also be sacrificed. So sacrificing, especially for humans at that time, was a real part of everyday life, okay, which again is very, very different. And as they would do this, they would paint people blue. If people were going to go to get sacrificed, they would take people blue. They would take them right up to that room on the top of the Maya temples, and that's where they would be sacrificed. And this is all to make the gods happy. They believed that if they would be sacrificed, then they would make the gods happy with this. Okay, and we can see this is a picture from one of the temples that we've already looked at. Okay, victims could also be put into the cenote here. Okay, and that's again a part of the sacrifice. Okay, and then you've got some pictures here of how they used to perform their religious rituals. Okay, and that's how we know about them. Now, getting onto their gods, they had lots and lots of different gods. Okay, this is called Itzamna, one of the creator gods. He was the inventor of writing. We know already that the Mayas were really intelligent and were the first civilization to invent a method of writing. And they also had their books to write it down as well. Okay, and he was portrayed in a human form. Okay, people, the gods that were considered higher and that had higher powers were then portrayed in human form. And then Kukalan, he was a supreme god. Okay, and he was a god of 4 elements: maize, fish, lizard, and vulture. Okay, and again, he was one of the creator gods as well. Ixchel, okay, she was a goddess of childbirth, healing, weaving, and the moon. Okay, again, she was portrayed in a human form, wearing a headdress of snakes entangled in her hair. Okay, she was capable of causing mass destruction if she was not happy. So the Mayas believed if there was something like a flood, that they had upset the gods, and therefore they needed to sacrifice to the gods and perform these religious rituals to solve that. Okay, what I would like you to do today is I would like you to use your knowledge from our RE lessons, from the Maya, what I've just talked about, and Anglo-Saxons, and I would like you to pop down in this comparison chart the beliefs from each of the time periods and religions, okay, about creation, gods, what happens when someone passes away, and sacrifice. Okay, now Anglo-Saxons, I would like you to focus on paganism. I know they did convert to Christianity eventually, but I would like you to focus on what you had learned about paganism to start off with. Okay, because then it will form a really lovely comparison between the different time periods and their beliefs at the time as well. There may be some similarities. So as you're writing it through, you might want to say this was similar to Anglo-Saxon beliefs because, okay, so you just need to note down in each of the boxes your answers, and it will help you to compare what those different time periods believed about each of these concepts down the side. Okay, after you have done that, what I would like you to do is on the back of your sheet, there should be another sheet which has name, meaning of name, god of what do they carry where, and what sacrifices have to be made to this god. What I would like you to do is I would like you to design your own Maya god. So you need to think about what is important to Maya. So is it going to be a god of Pocketok? Is it going to be a god of water? Is it going to be a god of cacao beans? Something that is really important in Maya times, okay? I'd like you to design your god. You need to write down what they're going to carry and where, what sacrifices have to be made, and any other information. Okay, so you can draw it in and then just bullet point the other bits really nice and neatly though, because these are going to go into your book as well. Okay, and that's just another example. Okay, and then you are going to complete your exit ticket. So I've got it here really big on my screen. You need to write true or false, and you need to explain why. Okay, so what you're learning today will help you answer this. Okay, the last part of your history lesson that I'm really, really excited for is that we are going to use now press play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to share it again on the now press play website just to show you how to access this. So what I would like you to do is after you finish, if you have got access to a device, you can then ask your parents' permission to do this. Okay, and this is on your timetable as well. You're going to go to the Now Press Play website, okay, which is linked on your timetable, so you can just press on it. You're then going to go to years 3 to 6, and you are going to come down to the Maya. Okay, now mine's already signed in, but I have also put the password for you on your timetable as well. Okay, it works really well if you've got headphones to use this for. Okay, and you just press play once you're on that. And it's just half an hour of some audio, which is a really fun way to learn about the Mayas as well. I'm just going to stop sharing now. So you've got your comparison chart to design your God, and then listen to Now Press Play. And your last thing today is to do page 21 in your grammar book. So that's your big book, not your little purple one, your big one, okay, page 21. I really look forward to seeing your pictures of your gods, okay, and hearing you talk about this in our next history lesson, okay, and I will see you tomorrow. See you later.